just finished school. Now what are you going to do? The world is your oyster and all that. How many people have heard that? A lot of people, right? Well, I'm here to share with you that uncovering your why is your next big step in life. Now, your why is your reason and purpose. And once you've uncovered your reason and purpose in life, you will be unstoppable. And we've had a lot of great speakers today talking about purpose and talking about passion and talking about occupations. And then we even had that science thing that kind of threw me for a loop. How many other people did that throw for a loop? Amazing information, right? There's so many amazing possibilities that we have. So uncovering your why, you guys, when you are focused and when you're compelled and know your reason and purpose for being here on this earth, you'll be able to accomplish so much more and be so focused. So your reason and your why always changes throughout your life. So understanding that, I'll share a story with you about when I was growing up. So I was a punk-ass teenager and was always getting into trouble, getting into wrong places. And I'll tell you why. I was trying to escape a shit life at home that was filled with abuse and abandonment. So my why at this time was to escape this horrible life at home. So what I did was escape into a life of booze and drugs. So my why was at the bottom of a bottle of vodka. So going into grade 8, I realized that I'm at the bottom of the food chain. So I've got to amp up this tough chick thing, right? You know, when you're in school, there's that tough chick that's there with a snarl. They got the really dark eyeshadow, and they eat nails for breakfast. Well, I was trying to be that because, again, with the escaping, my why was also the survival and the protection. And if people feared me, then they'd be at an arm's length from me. So going into grade 8, realizing that, I was kicked out of school more times than I care to remember. Principal's office was a revolving door. I think a couple of you are here the same way, right? And for me, it was all about, again, protecting and escaping. So I kept on cultivating this persona of Jill's a tough chick. And you guys, the sad thing was I kept on just trying to emulate that. I would burn myself and I would cut myself because I wanted people to think that I had been in fights, to think that I was a tough person. And inside, I was this scared, lonely, loveless little girl. So this didn't get any better going into grade 11 and 12, because now, grade 11 and 12 is my senior high, and there's all these other girls that are just as tough as I am. But remember, I hadn't even been in a fight, you guys, but I just had this persona of Jill's this tough chick, oh my gosh, and she's gonna go with the logs at lunch, and she's gonna beat the crap out of you. I didn't know how to fight. I didn't know the first thing. I knew how to burn and scar myself, but I didn't know how to fight. So now, grade 11, there's a lineup of other girls just like me, and they want to fight me, or so I think. And there was this one girl that we all feared. Her name was Sherry. So Sherry was apparently wanting to fight me. And so I was shaking in my boots, literally shaking in my boots. And I was saying, oh my gosh, she wants to fight me, and well, I gotta keep up this tough chick persona, don't I? And then one day, I walked into the washroom and Sherry was right there. And I was just so shocked. I'm like, Sherry, why do you want to fight me? She's like, I don't want to fight you. Why do you want to fight me? I'm like, I don't want to fight you. So here we are, the two toughest chicks in school, saying we don't want to fight each other. And then she hugged me. Flush. In the girls' washroom, right? So again, looking at that back, I understood years later that all those tough chicks, all those tough kids in school, oftentimes they came from the same abusive background that I did. And they were trying to escape, they were trying to protect, and they were trying to be in another, what they thought was a secure environment. So that to me was a learning curve later on in life that I really realized this. But again, when you see someone that has that tough persona and their why is to keep you at arm's length, try to understand where they're coming from. So my why didn't get any better in my early 20s, you guys. It really didn't. So here I was in my early 20s, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe my next why is being a part of a couple, right? Who here thinks about next big why is being a part of a couple, right? You know, nowadays you guys have all those apps online, like swipe. Oh, how you doing, right? I didn't have that back then. You guys, I'm a little bit older than you are. So for me, I thought, you know what? Here I had this abusive, horrible upbringing, and so I want to be in a relationship, and I hadn't even kissed anyone, right? And I'm 23 years old, and I'm thinking, well, I can either choose someone who is abusive, like my past, only you don't really recognize it at first, or I can choose someone that's amazing and loving and can help me to grow in life. So what do you think I chose? Yeah, this one. I chose to be in an abusive relationship because I thought I could fix it. So my new why was trying to fix something. So understanding, if anyone's been unfortunately, in an abusive family growing up, you understand that when you're trying to fix something, you're trying to control the little bits of things. And this guy was verbally and emotionally and physically abusive, misogynistic, and just not a nice person. Now, the abuse escalated more and more, and one day, this 6'3" man took me, threw me against a wall, and I realized, as I was crumpled in the corner, that I couldn't fix him. And if I stayed with him any longer, I'd likely be dead or in the hospital. So I chose to leave that relationship. Obviously very grateful today that I did leave that. And I realized at that time that my why wasn't caught up in being a part of the couple. My why and who I am as a human being, Jill Sinclair, I don't need to be a part of a couple to be whole and to be secure with who I was. But now I'm thinking, I'd had a few jobs here and there, kind of meaningless in my mind. There wasn't things that would challenge me. And we've had a lot of great speakers today talking about, all of the different jobs, like the tissue regeneration and the quantum physics and the quantum computing, and all these amazing things that people know already that they want to get into. And for me, I was still a little bit of controller, right? So I'm developing these controlling tendencies. And then I'm also actually quite creative, and I'm very tenacious. And at that time, a lot of employers, they weren't looking for that. So I thought, okay, well, I had quite a few occupations. My first one was a drug dealer. My boss wasn't so nice. And then I was a taxi dispatcher. I made signs. I was in sales of all kinds. And you guys, I've done everything, but I always knew it wasn't a true fit. So I had a job just to have a job, and realizing that I never fit the true ideal of what someone else's business was. And so I quite earnestly got into being an entrepreneur. And I'd like to say entrepreneurship found me. So going into my 20s, I had a couple bouts of, JOBs, the jobs, and then I had a couple bouts of entrepreneurship. But now today, I'm an executive coach, and I'm able to come in and help others to get beyond their success blockers and step into their success and into their brilliance. So I'm very blessed with what I'm doing in this days. So oftentimes people finding their why, it's fueled by something that's positive or negative. And as I've shared my negative experiences growing up, you understand that having some negative input early on in your life saying, you're no good, you're never going to amount to anything, you don't deserve success. Unfortunately, some people hear that and they crawl into themselves. And they believe that. And they succumb to that. And they live a life that is never about their true self and never about their true brilliance. And then you have other people who are like, I'll show you, I'll prove you wrong, I'm going to be everything that you said I couldn't be. And that fuels them, you guys. I know I was fueled by that, right? So again, the fueling of your whys always changes throughout your life. And also, another thing to think about is people are fueled by rewards. The rewards that they'll get. So when they hit a certain monetary number, they're going to buy that house, buy that car, take that vacation. But what are they going to feel when they get there? What's the emotion that they're going to attach to that? They're going to feel a sense of contentment, a sense of pride, a sense of legacy. They're going to be proud that they've been able to provide for their family. Are they going to have a sense of legacy that they want their name on a hospital wing? All of those are tied to the feelings and the emotions that they have. So again, understanding that when you're looking at your why, you don't need to get so much inside your head that you're not exploring new things and opportunities. Again, some of the speakers, they were really looking at, what are you doing and why are you doing it? That's exactly how I talk with my clients. You know what you're saying, why do I care? And you have to be able to cultivate that within yourself and understand that you're going to grow with that. So today, being a part of this TED Talks has been so beautiful, and being a part of the experience with all the people that put this on, and understanding too that when you're thinking about your life and thinking about what decisions you make, what puts a smile on your face?
What compels you? What interests you? What do you jump out of bed every morning to think about? You need to start thinking of those kind of things and start thinking about, you know what? That's going to be able to compel me towards my why. Now, what about if you have a job? You still have a why. You still have a why. Why did you join that company? Was it for a purpose? You want to be a person bigger? Was it for the protection of being a part of a company? Was it for the security of being a part of a company? You guys, there's a why attached to that. And understanding that you were put on this earth for a reason and a purpose. And understanding that in yourself, that you affect people every day in your life, no matter how big or how small it is. You're not just a stack of skin put on this earth. You're here for a reason every moment and every breath that you take on this earth, right? So when we're thinking about this, you have to understand that when I shared with you my whys, when I shared with you in the past, my whys went from escaping and to being in protection and security and survival mode. And then I got into fixing, because I was a fixer, right? And then I got into what I'm doing now. And I have so much fulfillment. And what I'm doing right now with my life is being able to share and being able to help to grow other people and bring them and help them to step into their brilliance. And what I feel with that, you guys, what I feel is such a sense of honor and such a sense of joy and pride. And my legacy is helping others. My legacy is that someone says, Jill Sinclair, her words, they helped me. Her words, they healed me. Her words, they inspired me. And that's my legacy. It's not going to be on a hospital wing. It's going to be in your hearts and in your minds. So I believe that's what I've been put here on this earth. And what I want you to consider is, with all the conversations we've had about our whats and our whys today, what you need to consider is, with my experiences, what was the one commonality in all of these? It was me. The one commonality in all my stories, I, Jill Sinclair, am my reason and purpose. I, Jill Sinclair, am my why. You are your reason and purpose. You are